Repairs to the static fire stand and tank farm are underway at Massys, new ship construction stand spotted at Sanchez, groundwork for the new Gigabay continues at the build site, and at the launch site, the Pad 1 orbital launch mount is being fitted with an adapter to static fire ship while Massys is under repair. Welcome to episode 88 of Starbase Flyover Update. We'll cover all the Starbase development from the 24th of June through the 4th of July. My name is BJ. Let's buckle up and enjoy the latest flight from 10,500 feet. We'll start over at the Massys test facility. As always, here's a labeled map from Proky to find your way around the site. Beginning at the static fire stand, we can see the scaffolding has been constructed to begin work on repairs. Above the stand, the quick disconnect gantry structure has been removed and the stand's platform's top deck has been severely damaged. Moving to the left, the comms building has been completely removed, along with the transformers that sat beside it. Most of the pipework structures surrounding the comms building have also been removed. At the methane side of the tank farm, we can see the pipework running from the subcoolers to the pumps have been removed, as well as both motors for the pumps. The pumps should be next, as pallets for them are staged next to the pump motors being prepared for transport. To the left of the methane tanks, gravel has been spread for what we believe to be where a crane may be located to remove larger hardware from the farm. To the right of the flame trench, we can see a crane on its side after it tipped over on the 24th of June. There is currently an ongoing OSHA investigation to find out what happened. The 5th LOX tank is seeing integration work this week, with pipe assemblies now in place. The inventory tent has been replaced with a new parking lot, and the workstations near the cryo stands have also been cleared out. Let's move to Sanchez, shall we? Starting with the new booster transport stand for version 3 boosters, finally the hold-down arms have been installed, one of the last remaining things to tick off to have it ready to roll. At the former OLM area, some pipes are staged for installation into the booster quick disconnects for Pad 2, and the welding tents have also been removed. Nearby, a new black frame is taking shape. Let us know in the comments what this may become. The 3rd speculated ship nose cone work stand has been moved within the factory stand work area. New black and white platforms are being built. At first you would think it could be a replacement for the ship static fire stand base, but 2 are in various phases of construction, with 3 additional frames stacked for future construction. Unless SpaceX is going to build dozens of static fire stands, these seem more likely for Star Factory. All needed hold-down arms for Pad 2 have been moved to the pad, with these 2 spares remaining. The backup power plant is also further deconstructed. Each generator is now partially disassembled. To the side, the cooling system has also been disassembled and stacked. Finally, the construction along Remedios Avenue is progressing nicely. Concrete has been poured from the Rocket Garden towards Highway 4. A wide sweeping corner should allow easy movement of vehicle transports down the newly widened street. Just before moving to the build site, we would like to thank all of our YouTube and Patreon members. Remember, all the patrons get to participate in our show and tell sessions on the same day of each flight. Here you can join in the discussions and ask your own questions. YouTube members also get to watch and listen in with a live chat function. Starting off at the Gigabay construction site, the footprint of the bay has been covered with gravel. We've seen SPMTs with counterweights moving over this area over the past week to test the strength of the groundwork. Next, the installation of friction piles will begin. July 8th would see the start of this with the first 6 piles drilled. Staged between Megabays 1 and 2, we can see the ship 4-point lifter as well as miscellaneous work platforms to be installed inside the bays as Starship version 3 starts getting produced. In Megabay 2, we can see Ship 38 on the center workstation in this ground photo by Starship Surfer. Now moving to Megabay 1, home to boosters 15 and 16 and the incomplete booster 18. In front we can see the oddly shaped worker access platform, likely going to be used to install header tanks. Checking Lab Padres rover cam, we can see the structure in the background as a massive methane transfer tube for booster 18 was lifted into the bay on July 7th. Now taking back to the air, we'll take a look at the Star Factory extension where 5 delivery docks can now be seen. At the multi-story apartment building, workers continue to build the concrete foundations and a ramp is beginning to take shape for the car park. Before we continue on to the launch site, make sure to give us a like and subscribe if you enjoyed our content so far. Our goal is to get to 80,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and every bit helps. Let's have a quick look at the updated map to get our bearings around the site. Pad 2 has seen a major milestone this week with the installation of the remaining 16 hold-down arms. In this ground image from Sean Geisler, the linkage assemblies seen at Sanchez in recent flyovers have been installed within the clamp arms. A big shout out to Sean for his excellent work providing these close-up ground shots. The LOX BQD area has seen new enclosure panels installed. Along one side, a staircase has been installed for access within the hood. If we jump over near Pad 1, we see 2 additional pieces that appear to be the back and top sections to partially enclose the lower part of the BQD. In the early morning of July 8th, the back portion would be installed. In addition to the enclosure panels, the BQD frame brackets now have hydraulic actuators installed. On the tower side of the launch mount, the 2 remaining corner pieces of the water manifold pipes are installed. At least one of these has a connection facing down, so we will have to keep an eye on what that may be for. Also on this side of the launch mount, a pipe has been lifted vertically and connected to a pipe passing into the mount. It currently stops around ground level and may connect to this smaller green pipe turning in that direction. The flame trench plates now extend to where the concrete ramp has been poured. To the eastern exit ramp, it appears ground clearing has begun to complete the trench ramp as it will connect to the pad at ground level. Tower cladding continued since the last flyover. The eastern facing side now reaches the 8th row. Behind the tower, the area near the tent and parking lot is now being prepared for more concrete. This week, in what should be the final major commodity trench, the walls are being formed for the propellant lines, complete with the expected expansion loop. Nearby, the first segment of the blast wall has been poured. It is interesting to note how much thicker this wall is compared to the tank farm walls near Pad 1. At the water deluge farm, the nitrogen vent systems appear mostly complete, with new accumulator tanks installed for each. Only one of the gas generators remains to be installed. Thanks to Starship Gazer, we have this clear view of 2 of them with many of their connections already made. To the east of the water tanks, some new steel assemblies have arrived. These may be trench covers of a different style or perhaps something completely different. Near the D2 gate, an interesting sight is that the recently poured pad is now covered in a new layer of soil with a vapor barrier layer to the height of the concrete piers. Just in front, drainage work is progressing. This should prevent the D2 gate entrance from being left underwater during heavy rains. This week sees very little progress at the pump farm, as it now appears very close to completion. Only a few pumps and motors remain to be installed, as well as some pipe assemblies to complete. As we move towards Pad 1, along the front of the tank farm, a third reinforced vaporizer is staged. This will be lifted into place on July 8th. Work to further integrate the new methane tanks to the Pad 2 systems has also progressed. Both main pipes are complete on the racks, with the 4 connections near the tanks now connected with flex hoses. The only connection remaining is where the original 7 methane tanks will be integrated. With the recent failure of Ship 36 at Massys, the testing facility will be unable to test future ships for some time. Recent activities at Pad 1 are now indicating that the launch mount will be used to static fire ships until Massys is repaired. Looking at the launch mount, we can see all 20 of the hold-down clamps have been removed. Scaffolding around the BQD hood and door indicate further refurbishment is taking place. Near the tank farm berm, a ship transport stand has been brought to the pad for modifications capable of interfacing with the orbital launch mount to static fire Ship 37 at the launch site. Nearby, a tent is being used as a welding station for new hardware needed for the stand conversion. Initially, some of the leg structures were shaved down to fit within the launch ring. More recently, 6 new steel items arrived. Initially, these were thought to be legs to support the ring. However, it appears they may be more likely mounting points for the stiffening rings used to support the RVAC engine bells during testing. Additionally, near the stand, several old flex hoses are staged, possibly for part of the temporary fueling system, likely needed to load Ship 37 with the propellants and other commodities required to complete the testing. With this flyover happening on the morning of July 4th, out in the mudflats, we see preparations for the Starbase fireworks display as mortar racks and boxes of fireworks shells are staged between the dunes and the launch site. And that's it for episode 88, Starbase Flyover Update. Thank you for choosing to fly with RGV Aerial Photography, and I hope you enjoyed the flight. If you like what you saw today, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you get notified of future videos and weekly live streams. I've been BJ, and I hope to see you next time from 10,500 feet.